Good afternoon. This is Animal Uncontrol. Welcome to Muttheads. Today's topic is shootability. This is going to be mostly off the cuff as I had a bad encounter with a dog today. I am not injured or in jail, so that means that it had a good outcome. Interestingly, I was contemplating sort of an abstract tome on use of force ethics. I know in my blogging career and from following other, dog critic YouTubers, the subject of self-defense against a dog and perhaps even the dog owner comes up often. In fact, I have a category on my blog called gun porn. Now, here's what happens. Now, to take a step back, I haven't been on much the past couple of weeks, primarily because the weather in Florida has been perfect, and I've been trying to get in as much hiking and camping as I can before it becomes unbearably hot. March and April are the nicest months of the year here. So in any case, I was hiking at a state forest today. Beautiful property, one I hadn't been to for several years, about an hour from my home. It was an in and out, about 6 miles total. I was on my way back. I was about a mile from my vehicle. And what I'll do is I'm going to just create a crude drawing showing you the scenario. So, and this, I'm going to draw just a very crude map here. So west is to the left, east is to the right, north is up, south is down. So, on this, it's approximate. So let's say this is the trail that I'm on, and I'm intending to go south as the, vehicle is down here, right? Okay. So I'm about, maybe I'll change some colors. So I'm about here. Okay, and there's about, maybe I'm 25 yards from this intersection where I'm planning on making a left and going south. I see down here, maybe about 75 yards or so from the intersection, maybe, 100 yards away. I see a woman with a dog. Turns out it was an unleashed pit bull that looked very similar to this dog. Probably larger. This looks like a puppy. I would say maybe, similar to this dog. He didn't have, his ears were not as closely cropped, but, it's a kind of dog that, sends people to the morgue and to, plastic surgeons on a regular basis. So I'm not too crazy about an encounter with this dog. And, the dog was off leash. So I'm headed this way. She and her dog are we're basically heading together. So when I get up to the, intersection here, the dog is proceeding in this direction. He's off leash. I yell at the owner. It's like I yell at her, keep him away from me. Keep him away. And she's like, ow, he's friendly. Yeah, and maybe I'm the supreme Ayatollah. So anyway, so I make my, left turn and I'm heading down and I'm about here. Okay. Fido comes up. He comes up to the intersection and he kind of looks around because I'm watching him. Like he's not sure what to do. The owner is calling him, but, he's out of control. He's not paying any attention to her. So he comes running at me this way. Now, I got to think very, very fast because how these next few seconds play out are very important. It could be me in jail, me in the morgue. So, as I've noted in the past, due to these types of encounters, I do hike with a small handgun. I have a permit to carry it. And again, this is not the first time I've been in a situation like this. This is why I carry it. I don't carry it because of the bears, okay? Pursuant to my conversation, I believe it was my first conversation with AJ from the, We Hate Dogs channel. I'm a certified hike leader in the state of Florida, or was. My credentials have expired as I don't do it anymore. I'm a very experienced outdoors person, particularly in this state. And, people worry about bears or other animals like bears, alligators, wild cats. And let me tell you something. As I noted to AJ, probably if you're going to be attacked by an animal, something on four legs, in the woods, it's about a 98% chance it's going to be a domestic dog, and probably 80-85% chance it's going to be a pit bull or similar. Okay, 0 people have been killed by bears in Florida in 500 years of recorded history. So Fido is running towards me, and I have my gun in a pocket holster. We can actually review that in a minute. I did a blog about it a while back. Fido is running toward me. Now, how you handle a situation like this, it has to be handled with precision, okay? You can't just say, I was threatened by this and open fire, or even squirt him with mace, okay? In order to use a weapon or use any kind of force against a human being or a dog, because I think dogs have more protection than human beings do in a situation like this, you have to be, in imminent danger of bodily harm. You don't actually have to be injured before you do something, but you have to be within a second or two. And I'm actually quoting the laws here, okay? So that means that, let's say somebody is charging at you. You've got some lunatic with a, hockey mask and a chainsaw. He's covered with blood and he's running at you and he's screaming, die, die, die over the roar of the chainsaw. He has to be within about 20 feet of you before you can do anything. If you shoot him when he's 100 feet away, that's not going to come out good. Most likely, again, your mileage may vary. Police, prosecutors, and judges have discretion. And as I've noticed before, the incentive under our current cultural paradigm, the zeitgeist, is to give Fido as much leeway as possible. So they're going to assume he's just being friendly, and I'm some trigger-happy, gun or dog-hating, Nazi. Okay, so anyway, Fido is now, he's not running full speed, but he's kind of trotting towards me. And he's about 40 feet away. So I draw the weapon, I point it at him, and I yell, stop. Because this is what you do. If it's a person, or if you point, you present, and you yell, stop. Now, I am in possession of a very loud, some would say even booming voice. It's authoritative. You folks have only heard me through my $18 microphone. It can, when I say something, people assume that I mean it. Now, Fido seemed to take that, seriously. Obviously, he didn't know I was pointing a gun at him. And interestingly, the owner is probably now about here. And, there's trees and shrubs in here. She can't see that I'm pointing a gun at her dog. And I yell, stop! And he did. It was like somebody's yanked a leash back. He boomed, did a 180, and took off back towards her. So it was pretty close. I mean, if he'd gotten about, 10, 15 feet closer, I would have shot him. And situations like this always shake you up. It's like I totally resent being put in a situation like this. Control your dog, you dumbass nutter. Because if something had happened, it would have been all my fault. And those thinking, these types of scenarios get critique from all sides. I'm sure there's some armchair warriors and keyboard commandos out there saying, I would have blown him away anyway. And it's like, you know what? You want to go to jail for 5 years over some stupid mutt? Fine. You do that. But in my, world, you have to handle a situation like this with precision. I've already thought it through. I've been in situations like this before. Because again, the most dangerous thing in the woods are dogs, not bears. In fact, you're probably more likely to be attacked by a man in a bear suit than you are an actual bear. Now, of course, the other folks will say, oh, how could you threaten an innocent animal? Let's play this out. Let's say Fido had attacked me. let's say Fido would attack me. He pulled a Dominic Selesky on me, tears open my femoral artery. What do you want to think? That the nutter owner is just going to grab her dog and beat it and leave me there to bleed out? I'd say it's about a 99.99% chance I'm not going to get any help. Because remember, I'm in the woods. This is not a city or suburban neighborhood. We're a mile from the road in forest, and there's no one else around. The other thing to consider, too, in a scenario like if it had played out that way, what do you want to bet I would have been written off as Florida's first bear-related fatality? Because that happens, too. If you follow dogsbite.org, there have been multiple scenarios where someone is mauled to death by dogs and the authorities try to frame another animal. They say it was a bear or a puma or whatever. Again, nutters trying to protect their own. Okay? And you have to handle, I can't emphasize this enough, you have to handle a situation like this with the utmost precision, particularly because, again, in our current cultural paradigm, in any conflict with a dog person, they're going to have superior standing to you, okay? Because we live in a dogs first society. We shouldn't, but we do. Now, let's take a look at, look at them. Let's do some gun porn. This always comes up. So we got that. Got some bolt-action rifles. Another bolt-action rifle. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here we go. This is... Yeah, so it's a Ruger LC 380. I don't know if this video is still up. I did create a video. Let's watch that. I call it my pocket rocket. And some people say this is a pea shooter. Let me tell you something. 2 rounds of 380 is going to ruin your day. Yeah, okay, let me stop for a second. See, these aren't like, again, for a small gun at 7 yards, that's, not bad. So this one, it's groups of 7. So here I was, a few inches from the bullseye, a little low, to the right, but not bad. Over here I got, almost 3 right around the bullseye, and I got some more floaters like down and to the right. I was probably jerking the trigger a little. But you got to figure, something like this, you're going to use when whatever it is within 10 feet. Okay, usually like super, precise accuracy is not required when you are packing something or need to use something like this. If you're, you wouldn't hunt with this. So yeah, those look, they're like not bad. And it's fairly light, so, it's easy to carry. Fits in a pocket holster. Yeah, and this isn't bad either. Look at that. See the zombie? So this was at, 7 yards. I got, pretty much all the headshots. I mean, okay, I got 2 were kind of like glancing, but here I got like 2 in an eye socket, another one in an eye socket, 1 in the forehead. So that's not bad. I mean, he would have been down. You can get this in 9mm also. The 380 is easier to shoot. It recoils less. So there's like another like mass of bullets. That's, it's a pretty good grouping. Guns like this aren't the easiest to shoot, but again, supreme accuracy is, not required for this application. And it is kind of fun to shoot, as I note there. Yeah, see, look at that. I love this target, too. This is a zombie dog. So you see what he's got in his mouth? He's got an arm. Yeah, this probably would have been my arm today. But you can see this isn't, a real dog. You got to be careful using targets like this at a range because, as we know, way too many people have an unhealthy attachment to dogs. But look at all this. Okay, I got one to the ear. That probably wouldn't have done much. But most of these other shots would have been disabling. Like these snout, this would have gone deep into, blown out the back of his head. Any one of these, okay, well, not this one here because, shot the arm. But it doesn't matter. It's severed, so. Okay, so that's over. So let's get out of here. Pit bulls in the woods. Shootable. Yes or no? Think about it. This is animal uncontrol. And as always, people first.